Hey there, art lovers, ready to create? Let's unbox the supplies from Upcrate 42. What are the goodies? Aquapad, Spectrum Noir fineliner, also a color pips pencil, and woohoo, a portable brush, and some Viviva watercolors. Ready, set, let's sketch! Upcrate is a subscription service that delivers innovative art items right to your doorstep. It is a company based in Germany, so if you are like me and you live somewhere outside of Germany, it takes a little longer to arrive, but the wait is totally worth it. The box includes interesting art supplies curated by artists to help you create. If you are new to my channel or coming back and love my content, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Over here, I create art illustrations and unbox art supplies for your enjoyment. So, to help me continue creating for you and help my channel grow, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Ding, ding, ding. And today, as I create an illustration to test out the supplies, I wanted to talk about some basic tips that have helped me and will help you step up your watercolor game to the next level. Let's make the most out of our Viviva watercolors. How exciting! The first tip is to keep the color wet after you put it on the paper. I get lots of compliments on how smooth my pictures are and get asked how I accomplish that. Well, when you paint with watercolor, you can create a variety of textures by just regulating the water you use and how fast it dries. If it dries as you paint over that again, it will layer the color, therefore it will be creating lines and texture. But it depends how you like your pictures. Some people love the texture on the pictures, but I like my pictures to be smooth. So I try to keep the paint wet on the paper as much as I can as I spread the color over the section that I'm working on. And that way my paint is on the paper even and smooth. The second tip is layer it up. Viviva watercolors are highly pigmented, so layering them will give you a more intense and richer color. Building layers will also help you create depth and contrast in your piece. Watercolors is just a layer in supply, and since Viviva is so pigmented, they layer so gracefully. Don't be afraid to put a color first and layer another one on top of it to create an undertone. You will see that when I painted the cappies, I layered brown on top of yellow to tone down the red or orange undertone of the brown. I tried the brown on a different piece of paper with a different amount of water, and it was still too red for my liking. I wanted a more yellowy brown, and that's how I accomplished it, by setting a layer of yellow first, and then on top of that I set the brown that the palette had. By layering, you can go from a transparent color to a more intense color. You want your color to be light or more transparent? Just do one very watered down layer. You want a more vibrant color? Then do more than one layer. And for the third tip, I can tell you that you should always work from light to dark. Starting with the lighter colors first and building up to the darker colors will help you maintain control over the intensity of the colors and prevent oversaturation. It is easier to correct boo-boos if you lay dark colors over light colors because dark colors are visible over the light ones. If you lay dark and then try to correct, it is very possible that the light colors will not show over the dark colors. The fourth tip is to be patient and let things dry. Watercolor painting requires time. If the paper is still wet from laying down one color when you're trying to paint with another color next to it, those two colors will bleed into each other. So the best thing to do is to let the paper dry before you paint new sections. So I don't have problems with colors bleeding into each other, what I try to do is to paint far away sections. If the paper is still wet in some areas, then I stop and I go somewhere else to do something else and I come back to my painting later. Watercolor does not take that long to dry. You can also speed up the drying process by using a heat tool or a fan. Now some people use the wet on wet technique to create that blended effect that I so badly try to avoid. And fifth and last, but definitely not least, tip is to choose the right paper. The beauty of Upcrate is that they curate the box with paper that will work well with all the materials that they provide. For instance, in this box, they provided with watercolor paper that is 140 pounds and it is cold pressed. There are different weights for paper. 140 pounds is very thick, therefore it can support more water. Watercolor paper also has different textures. Cold pressed is very textured, absorbs water faster. Hot pressed paper is smoother and it absorbs water slower than cold pressed paper. I particularly love working with cold pressed paper because of the texture. Don't be afraid to use texture. Viviva watercolors blend beautifully, and with a texture paper, it can create completely different visual effects. My impressions about this box? Well, they can be expressed with one word, and that word is love. The color Peps pencil is great. I prefer also using color pencil to sketch my pictures. That this color pencil is erasable is a plus. The brown is not my color of choice. I usually go with reds and blues, but I am not mad about the brown. I will definitely use it. The fineliner was of great quality. I loved the fact that it was water resistant and it did not smudge while I was painting. Fineliner, you get a big thumbs up. The portable brush was awesome. I love the portability and the presentation. It is just a beautiful thing. Also, it worked great. And the star of this video, the Viviva watercolor palette. It was definitely a dream to work with. The colors were beautiful, the quality of the paint was amazing. The fact that it is portable is a plus. Now, I usually like every box. I say it in every video that I love this box, I really like this box, but this one was the dream box. Overall, I would rate it 1,000/10. Here you have it, the Upcrate number 42 unboxing and 5 tips for watercolor beginners. Let me know in the comments if you used any of my tips or found them helpful. Also, if you would like to share your own tips, that is great too. We are always open to learning new things. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next video. Bye.